Welcome to the universe of the mind. You'll be amazed at the things that you might find in a galaxy far, far away. The secrets of our world will be exposed today.
Is psychology a pseudoscience? You've probably heard someone say it. Maybe a friend in a STEM field, maybe an online comment, or maybe you've even wondered it yourself. They say it's all just common sense, that it's soft, not a real science like physics or chemistry. Today, we're going to dive deep into this question, bust some myths, and figure out where psychology really stands. First, let's get our definition straight. What makes something a science? It's not about having bubbling beakers or complex equations. It's about systematically observing the world, forming testable hypotheses, conducting controlled experiments to gather empirical evidence, and then analyzing that data to see if our ideas hold up. It's a process of constant questioning, refining, and building upon previous knowledge. A key part of this is falsifiability, a concept from the philosopher Karl Popper. A scientific idea must be able to be proven wrong. If you can't test it and potentially find it false, it's not science. Now, what's a pseudoscience? Pseudoscience wears the lab coat of science but doesn't follow the rules. It often relies on vague, untestable claims, anecdotal evidence instead of controlled data. And it's resistant to being proven wrong. Think of astrology. It makes broad predictions that can be interpreted in many ways. And when a prediction fails, believers find excuses rather than questioning the system itself. So, where does psychology fit in? Let's look at the evidence. Does psychology use the scientific method? Absolutely. A huge part of psychology is research. Psychologists design experiments with control groups. They use statistical analysis to interpret results, and their findings are published in peer-reviewed journals. This means other experts in the field scrutinize the work before it's even published, checking the methods and the conclusions. Let's take a classic example, cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. This isn't just some therapist's good idea. The theory behind CBT is that our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are interconnected, and changing negative thought patterns can improve mental health. This is a testable hypothesis. So, researchers conducted randomized controlled trials, the gold standard in research. They took a group of people with, say, depression, randomly assigned half to receive CBT, and the other half to a control group, maybe a wait list or a different type of therapy. After a set period, they measured the symptoms in both groups using standardized scales. Countless studies have shown that the CBT group consistently shows significantly greater improvement. This is empirical evidence. This is science in action. But what about the soft science argument? It's true that psychology studies things that are harder to measure than, say, the mass of an electron. How do you quantify happiness, love, or consciousness? This is a genuine challenge, but it doesn't disqualify psychology from being a science. It just means psychologists have to be incredibly clever and rigorous in how they design their studies. They develop what are called operational definitions. They take an abstract concept like anxiety and define it in measurable terms. This could be through physiological measures like heart rate and cortisol levels, behavioral observations like avoidance of certain situations, or self-report questionnaire where people rate their anxiety on a standardized scale. Are these measures perfect? No, but they are systematic, replicable, and allow for statistical analysis. It's the same principle physicists use when they study things they can't see directly, like quarks or dark matter. They look for their effects on things they can measure. Of course, not everything that falls under the broad umbrella of psychology is strictly scientific. Just like in any field, there are historical ideas that have been debunked. Freudian psychoanalysis, for example, is a big one. Many of Freud's theories, like the Oedipus complex, are difficult, if not impossible, to test and falsify. How do you design an experiment to prove or disprove the existence of the ID, ego, and superego? Because of this, many modern psychologists view Freud's work more as a foundational philosophy or a set of interesting ideas rather than a scientific theory. Mainstream academic psychology has largely moved on from these untestable concepts to focus on what we can actually measure and verify. There's also the problem of pop psychology. This is the psychology you see in glossy magazines or on daytime talk shows. Find out what your favorite color says about your personality, or 5 simple tricks to read anyone's mind. Much of this is oversimplified, taken out of context, or just plain made up. It's the equivalent of a miracle cure you see in a spam email at S, not representative of the actual field of medicine. Pop psychology often cherry-picks findings or relies on anecdotes, which is exactly what pseudoscience does. It's crucial to distinguish this from the real academic discipline. So, why does the pseudoscience label stick? I think there are a few reasons. One is that everyone has their own folk psychology. We all have theories about why people do what they do. It's how we navigate social life. So when psychology presents findings that seem like common sense, people say, I knew that already. Why did you need to study? But the history of psychology is filled with examples where common sense was proven wrong. For instance, common sense might suggest that letting out your anger by punching a pillow is a great way to calm down. This is the catharsis theory. But studies have shown the opposite is often true. Acting out aggressively can actually reinforce the anger and make you more likely to be aggressive in the future. Science helped us get past our flawed intuition. Another example, eyewitness testimony. For a long time, it was considered the most reliable form of evidence in a courtroom. But psychological research, particularly by figures like Elizabeth Loftus, has shown that human memory is incredibly fallible and easily influenced. The way a question is worded can change someone's memory of an event. This scientific research has had a real-world impact, changing police procedures and legal practices. So, let's bring it all together. Is psychology a pseudoscience? The answer is a clear no. Modern psychology is a science. It uses the scientific method to systematically study the mind and behavior. It faces unique challenges because its subject matter is complex and often internal, but it meets these challenges with rigorous methods, operational definitions, and statistical analysis. Like any science, it's not perfect. It's a work in progress. Old ideas get discarded, and new ones are tested. And yes, you have to be careful to separate the real science from the pop psychology noise that clutters our social media feeds. But to dismiss the entire field is to ignore the decades of research that have profoundly deepened our understanding of ourselves and have led to effective treatments that help millions of people live better lives. Psychology isn't about reading minds or having all the answers. It's about asking the right questions and then using the best tools we have, the tools of science, to find the answers. One experiment at a time. It's a fascinating, challenging, and deeply human science. Thank you so much for watching. What are your thoughts on this? You've ever thought psychology was a pseudoscience? Let's discuss it in the comments below. And if you found this video interesting, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of psychology. See you next time.
Welcome to the universe of the mind. You'll be amazed of the things that you might find. In a galaxy far, far away, the secrets of our world will be exposed today. All is never what it seems. Is a world created by our dreams? Are we living in a simulation? Is the moon an alien space station? Quantum is quantum does. Nobody knew just what it was. To this day we still don't know, but we won't stop exploring, no. Welcome to the universe of the mind. To the universe of the mind. You'll be amazed of the things that you might find. In a galaxy far, far away. secrets of our world will be exposed today. All is never what it seems. Is a world created by our dreams? Are we living in a simulation? Is the moon an alien and space station? Quantum buzz, nobody knew just what it was. To this day we still don't know, but we won't stop exploring though. Welcome to the universe of the mind.
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 Mind. To the universe of the mind, you'll be amazed of the things that you might find.